Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 Audi Q5. This is the Premium Plus S Line 45. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This model is finished off in glacier white metallic. It has an MSRP just over $58,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's also paired to the hybrid system and the 7-speed automatic. It pumps out 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,100-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18.5 gallons. You'll expect to see 23 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 111 inches. Its overall length is 184.3. It has a width of 74.5, a height of 65.5, and its ground clearance measures in just over 8 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for this model, you'll notice there's the chrome Audi badge along with the forward-facing camera. The rest of the grille is finished off in gloss black with the surround having the brushed accent to it. With that hexagonal design, it gives it a great look. This is also equipped with LEDs for all of the lighting up front. And then there's also sensors in the lower section for the distance pacing, along with more of the brush trim and the parking sensors that run throughout. There's some cutouts in the lower section, along with more of that brushed accent, and then 4 distinctive lines that come down the hood. Very distinctive for the Audi models. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 20-inch wheels with a 5-spoke design to them. There's also some crisp lines for the fender arches, both front and rear. There's also the S Line badge just underneath that other line that goes right through the height of the door handles. Now there's the power folding side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal. There's also a full moonroof up top with more of the brushed accents for both the roof racks and all of the window trim. And it's even on the lower section of the door. So you get that for the lower side skirt there. And again, that crisp line that goes all the way to the taillights there just gives it a great look. Now this also has the body colored spoiler with the brake light, the wiper blade there, LEDs for the taillights. There's also more of the brushed accents that run right through that power liftgate. There's the backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the exhaust tips on both sides. And when properly equipped, this Q5 can tow right around 4,400 pounds. So you could hook up some smaller trailers to this and have a very usable, smaller size SUV. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where, as you can tell, there's a good bit of space for this smaller size. There's also the spare underneath the floor and then a little bit of extra storage if you need to use it. And then there's some storage nets on both sides, as well as the dome lights. There's also a strap, so that way you can place some items there. And you can even fold down the back seats from the back. So just pull on those tabs, and that will give you a lot more interior space depending on the items that you have. And of course, you can remove this cover if you need a little bit more space. And then up top, you have the 2 controls, one to just close that liftgate, the other one to lock the vehicle. Now, if you do lock the vehicle, there's the proximity door handles, so you can lock and unlock this from the back. Now, for this model, you'll notice the wood trim, the brushed accents, there's the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and then we have the brown leather interior, which works its way to these seats here. Now, you can adjust these seats with a control down below, so you'll use that to fold the seats down and then use it to release them to put them back up. Now at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets, temperature adjustments in the middle, all the auxiliaries with your vents. These seats can also slide forwards and backwards. So if you need a little bit more legroom or a little bit more cargo space, you can move the seats, which is a huge plus. And then at my height, I have about an inch and a half of headroom, and they recline slightly. So that just gives you a little bit more comfort for this SUV. Now right in the middle, you get the armrest with the cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat individually, so if you need to gain access to the back. You have very large cargo windows there, so it makes it easier to see around those pillars, and it provides you with a little bit more interior lighting. Now up front, there's the memory seating controls. The power folding side mirrors are also heated. There's all the window controls, the liftgate release, and additional storage. And then the front seats are automatic. With a nice design to them, all the piping that runs down them gives it a great look. And then this model also has the solid leather steering wheel. So let's start this up. That button's located down below. This has paddle shifters on both sides. It even gets a heated steering wheel. There's volume, tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And then you can use the controls on the left side to go through the virtual cockpit. So as I start to use the scrolling dial, we can go down and look at all of these vitals, just depending on what you'd like to see. Now, once you hit the bottom, you do have to scroll all the way back up to the top. And then you have the arrows to further go through the rest. Now, if you want to view the nav in full screen, simply just click View, and now you can bring that up, and you can still go through the rest of this information in a little bit larger of a view. So just depending on how you want to see that. There's your cruise, distance pacing stalk on the left side. You also get storage down below. There's all the headlight adjustments too. There's one air vent above that. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, you have a lot of icons that you can scroll through here. If we go into vehicle, this is how you can get into your drive select. So these are the various driving modes that you can put this vehicle into, and then you can get into the rest of these icons here. There's also shortcuts on this left side, so you can further get into those. Now there's air vents underneath that, and then another LCD screen for all of the climates. You can simply hover your finger on these controls to see if you need to push them up or down, which is a really nice shortcut to have. This also gets heated seats, there's the temperature dials, and then some recirc and defrosters on both sides. There's also a shortcut to the drive select, so you can quickly get into that. There's engine start stop, traction control, parking sensors, a downhill assist, and you can shut that upper screen off if you would like to. You get some auxiliaries with a little bit of storage. There's volume and tuning, more storage in front of the shifter. If I put this into reverse, you get the top-down view on one side, and then the rest of these angles on the left side. So that way you can easily see around the entire vehicle. Now you can also shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters. And then there's the e-brake behind that. You get a little bit of storage with 2 cup holders. There's also the armrest where you have an auxiliary and a little bit of space, and you can actually lock this in a few different directions. And then you have plenty of space in the glove box. Garage door buttons are up top with the rear view mirror. There's the touch sensitive dome lights, and then your controls for the sunshade and sunroof, as those are both power operating. And then as you can tell with that cargo window in the back, it actually gives you a little bit more visibility. Can't really see it from the driver's seat here, but you have plenty of visibility out of that rear glass. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Q5, I drive the SQ5 a lot more than I've been in the Q5. So it's really neat to check this out and show you all the differences. Mainly it's just the engine being a little bit smaller, having less power. Everything else is virtually the same. You have a lot of different options for this Model 2, so you can spec it the way that you would like to. But let's put this into a dynamic mode, and we have these paddle shifters here, so we can test out this 2-liter 4-cylinder. As far as handling goes, you know, this is a small SUV. It's going to take that turn very well. And then we have plenty of power to get back up to speed with just a mild acceleration. So if you're not looking for something that has that added horsepower, this is still going to be a great option. You'll get a little bit better fuel economy with the 4-cylinder too, so if that's something that you are interested in. But for its ride and drive, it's very nice. Sub $60,000 and maybe less than 50. They start somewhere around there. When you don't get the $5,000 package that this has, you can get closer to that $50,000 price tag. It's a great option. It's still an expensive vehicle, but you have a nice layout and a quality driving vehicle. So being Audi, of course, this is going to be well refined, smooth to drive, even in dynamic mode. We don't have any suspension settings, so really the drive modes here are going to be for your throttle input. So we even have an off-road setting too, where you can use that with the all-wheel drive system, of course, if you're going off the tarmac. But it's super comfortable and quiet to drive. We have really thin pillars up front too, so it makes visibility easy to see all around. Seats are also very comfortable too. They have some pretty aggressive bolsters to them, but it's a comfortable enough seat to make for a great daily driver. So of course, this is something you'll be racking up the miles on and just having a lot of fun. If you want something that is on the smaller side, I own a BMW X5 for reference. This is a little bit more on par with the X3. So it is on the smaller side for the SUV lineup. It's a great vehicle. It offers a lot of space for the interior too, and it is a good vehicle for city driving because of its smaller size. So you don't have to be intimidated with a large SUV, but you still get plenty of interior space for its smaller size. And we're still in dynamic second gear. Here we go. Paddles are actually pretty responsive too with that mild acceleration. It's also a smooth driving vehicle. We have the 7-speed dual clutch, so it's it still gives you a smooth ride for the upshifts and the downshifts here, which is of course great, especially from an Audi, of course. You want it to be more refined feeling and smooth with those shifts. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Q5. Not all that loud. I'd say you hear more of the engine noise than you do an actual exhaust note with a small acceleration like that. So it's not a loud vehicle, and it shouldn't be for this type of SUV. So it's definitely going to provide you with a great, comfortable daily driving SUV. Now, as far as its seating position goes, I don't really talk about that often, but I can barely see the passenger side of the hood, but it's not a long vehicle either, so it's going to be easy to place, and you have the parking sensors too to help you out as well. But you sit kind of as you would expect. You don't sit too low in this like you would in a sedan, and you're not too high up in it either. So I don't know, it gives you a really good feel. Some smaller SUVs that I'm in make it feel like you're in a sedan and kind of hunkered down. But we do have the adjustments for the height on the seat, so of course you can adjust that as needed. But aside from that, it's a really nice layout. I like just the overall sizing that it has for its smaller size here. And we have a lot of nice trim accents that of course are going to vary. And speaking of turning around, we can do a quick UE here and see what this is like. Now, we don't have rear wheel steering or anything like that. So as far as how tight this is, it's pretty tight in the steering there, which is nice. And so, like I said, very maneuverable for its size. And just letting the vehicle do the shifting, even in the sport setting there, it's pretty quick and responsive. So that's going to wrap it up for the 2025 Audi Q5. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.